All right, so today we're going to be looking at another way that we can organize and display our data, and that's through constructing, and we're also going to analyze a dot plot. So a dot plot, as you can see right here, is a quick picture of the data that relies on sorting and plotting data along an axis and usually used for small data collections. So we're going to show you what that looks like by constructing one first. And by plotting data along the axis, we mean it's going to look like a number line. Okay, so this one right here. So it says patrons at a movie theater were asked their age, and here are the responses. So we have all of these responses for their ages. We first need to find our lowest and our highest, so then we kind of know how far we need to go on our dot plot. So our lowest is at 13. And then if we look for our highest, it's definitely going to be 35. So we're going to start on our number line, and we're going to start with 13, and we have to get to all the way to 35 on the number line because every number has to be shown on a dot plot, which is why it's used for small data collections. Okay, so we have 13, 14, 15. All right, so everybody should be doing this with me. Make sure I'm leaving enough room. Oh yeah, perfect. Oh, sorry. Guess time to almost pack up. All right, so perfect. I'm gonna have plenty of room. All right, so now we can plot all of our data points, and really we're just putting a dot above each data point that we use. So if we look at this, we have a dot that needs to be on 14, so we're going to put a dot above 14. Okay, now we have one above 13, above 16, 17, another one above 13. And so you can see that we're really just placing these dots to represent their ages. We have 3 under 15, or above 15. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. One at 17. And then the other one at 15. And then last but not least, our one patron at 35. All right. So looking at this, this is what our dot plot is going to look like. This is just showing you that we have a range of 13 to 35, but the majority of our data is between 13 and 17. We do need to to label this. So this is going to be the age of patrons. Maybe if I can write. At the movies. All right. So looking at part B says, what is the mean of the data? Okay, so to find the mean of the data, we just have to add up all of our data points. Okay, so we're going to add up all of our pieces. So we have 2 data points above 13, so 13 plus 13. 2 above 14, so 14 plus 14. 4 above 15, so we'll have 4 15s added together. Plus 16, plus 17, plus 17, and then plus 35. So that's going to equal 199. So we added up all of our data points. We got 199. Now you have to divide by how many data points we have. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we're going to divide that by 20 or by 12. And that's going to give us 16.58. Okay, so the mean age is going to be 16.58 years. Now we also need to find the median of the data. Remember, the median is the one in the middle. So we're going to cross off our data points till we find the one in the middle. Okay, so there's 2 on each side, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and right in the middle is 15. So our median is going to be 15 years, because that's the one in the middle. Now we also asked, what is the mode of the data? Remember, the mode is the one that happens the most often. And if we look at that, we have 4 dots over 15, so that's going to be the one that happens the most. So we're going to say 15 years old. Part E says, how does the mean compare to the mode? Okay, well, obviously we looked at this. The mean was 16.58. The mode was 15, so we're going to say the mean was higher than the mode. And then part F says, what would happen to the mean if the outlier wasn't included? Now remember, we've talked about how in a past set of notes that the mean is affected by outliers. Okay, the mean is really affected by those outliers. If you have a high outlier, the mean gets pulled up towards that outlier. So if we look at our dot plot, 35 is an outlier. Okay, it's really far away from the rest of our data. So it is dragging that mean higher. It is making that mean higher than all of our other averages. Okay, so what would happen to the mean if the outlier wasn't included? Well, if we're not including the outlier, the mean would decrease. And then part G said it was, what is the range of the data? Remember, the range is your largest number minus your smallest. So 35 minus 13 equals 12. So our range is 12. All right. Once you got that copied down, we're going to go on to the next page. Remember, if you feel like I'm going a little too fast, you can always hit pause, rewatch anything if you need to. Number 2 says the following dot plot shows a daily high temperature in Katz, Colorado for 2 weeks in March. Each dot represents a different day. So this means that there were 2 days where the temperature was 1 degree. Over here, this one right here means there were 4 days that the temperature was 12 degrees. So remember, each of those dots represents 1 day. So part A says, which value could represent the mean daily high temperature? Okay, so remember, that's when we're going to add all of our dots together. So we've got 2 dots on 1, so 1 plus 1, plus, this one is 9, plus 10 plus 10, plus, we got 3 over 11, plus we have 4 over 12, so 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12, 4 times, 1 over 13, and then 1 over 14. So right now, when we add all those up, that gives us 1,327. I think I forgot a plus sign in there because that doesn't make sense, does it? Let me add that up real quick one more time. So 1 plus 1 plus 9 plus 10 plus 10 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 13 plus 14 gives me 139. That makes a lot more sense. My bad, guys. So 139, and we're going to divide that by how many days we looked at. And we looked at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're going to divide that by 14, which gives us 9.9. So for temperature, we look at whole degrees, so that means we're going to round up to 10. Part B says which value could represent the median. Remember, the median's the one in the middle, so we're just going to cross off dots till we find the one in the middle. So we're just crossing them off till we find the one in the middle. And it looks like we're going to have them over 11. So our median is going to be 11. Part C says, how does the mode compare to the mean? Well, we already found our mean was 10. The mode is the one that happens the most. So 12 has the most dots. So that means our mode has to be 12. Well, how does the mode compare to the mean? Well, the mode is higher than the mean. Part D says, how many outliers are there? If we look at this, we have 2 dots over 1. Since there are 2 dots over 1, that means we have 2 outliers. Okay, we're looking for where the dots are, and there are 2 dots over 1. And part E says, if both of the dots at 1 were no longer included in the dot plot, what would happen to the mean of the data? Remember, outliers really affect the mean, and since our outliers are lower, okay, than the mean, that means it's really dragging our mean down. So if we got rid of those, our mean would be higher and closer to our median and our mode. Okay, so that means our mean would increase. All right, if you have any questions about any of those, please make sure you're emailing your teacher. Okay, if not, you can move on to the homework.